Okay, welcome, guys. This is it. Welcome to day 2 of our Stress Less Challenge. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm so pumped to hear from you guys, to hear how your day went. If you're with me live, hit me up in the comments and give me a shout out. Just say hey. If you completed your 20 to 30 minutes of physical activity today, tell me what you did and how it felt. If this is the first time that you've done it in a while, let me know. So I'm going to give everyone a few minutes just to join us. And I've been hearing some and reading some comments about how yesterday's meditation went and how some of you are still practicing the meditation today, which is great. One of you shared in the comments that you had a great sleep last night after a couple of you shared that you had an amazing sleep last night after your meditation, which is great, which is amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. Someone else shared that, actually, a few others also shared that meditation was hard, which I also totally get. I'm with you on that. It is not easy for me either. But like I said last night, keep up, keep practicing it. It will get easier with time. That has been my experience. That's the experience I've heard from just about everybody who's tried meditation. So just keep working on it. Okay, so today's day 2, and we're talking about movement. We're talking about physical activity, exercise. I asked you guys to complete 20 to 30 minutes of some kind of movement today. And that could look like just about anything. Like, I really don't need it to be high intensity. You don't have to go for a run. You don't have to go to the gym. I don't think gyms are open right now, but in any case, it doesn't have to be the gym. It could be whatever you can manage. So it could be, it could be a walk. One of you shared that you took a walk to the grocery store and back. That's great. That's amazing. It can be yoga. Someone else shared that they were going to do 30 minutes of yoga after work. That's also great. Whatever works for you, whatever you enjoy doing. I know someone else went for a bike ride today this afternoon on their lunch hour. That's fantastic. The weather is still really good, at least where I am right now. So if that's an option, get outdoors. But honestly, if it's snowing by now where you live, that's fine too. And you don't want to get outside, like just, search any kind of exercise video that you're interested in on YouTube. There are countless free videos on YouTube that are really solid, that are really good. There's so many free resources now. It's not hard to find. Even like myself, who practices yoga regularly, I go to a yoga class. I've been practicing yoga for a long time, and I still also sometimes look up yoga videos on YouTube. There's no shame in that. And you can find videos for any length of time. So whatever you can do is fine. The point is to get moving. So let's talk a little bit about why, because if you're dealing with stress, you want just adding another thing to your day may feel like a lot. And if on top of that you're feeling burnt out and really tired, again, the idea of moving or adding another thing to your day may feel so overwhelming, which I totally understand. The thing about exercise is it not only relieves the stress your body is feeling in the moment or from the day. So it's going to help your heart rate. If your heart rate is beating really quickly because of your stressful day, or if you feel like you're breathing really shallowly, you're so stressed that you're almost holding your breath often in the day, or just you feel tense, like your neck is super stiff or whatever, physical experience you're going through because of your tension and stress, exercise is really going to help relieve those things in the moment or at the end of a long day. But it also serves as helping your body become more resistant to future stress, which I think is very cool. And, it can kind of set you up for a few days. And so if you are doing it regularly, not just once a week or once in a while, but regularly, it can really help build this innate resilience in your body so that the next time something really stressful happens, um, anything like a bad day at work, or someone you had to deal with that was really hard, or you found out some really stressful news, your body isn't going to have those physiological responses that I just mentioned. It's going to be able to cope, and actually your mind will cope better too. So that's a huge part of it. And then also stress, you'll find, really will help you get better sleep. And for most of you, for a lot of people dealing with stress, it can be really hard to get a good night's sleep, to fall asleep, to stay asleep. And we're actually going to be talking about sleep tomorrow on day 3. But before we got there, I wanted to help you start putting things in place that will help you get a good night's rest, because I know how important that part is. And so the meditation that you're doing every day and being physically active is really going to help you get the rest that your body needs. And I'm going to go more into that tomorrow. But the point is that chances are you're feeling, probably pretty tired if you're dealing with stress on a regular basis. And so I really want to help find ways to alleviate that. And even if the idea of doing something physical when you're really tired seems so hard, whatever you can do is better than nothing. And whatever you can do will hopefully help you get better sleep so that you don't feel as tired tomorrow. Or in extreme cases, it might take a little bit of buildup. So you might need to be doing it for, a couple of weeks to really feel the benefits, depending on, how extreme your symptoms are. But no question, stress is definitely alleviated by exercise and movement. So those are the main reasons. And if you guys have any questions about what that needs to look like, feel free to ask in the comments. And then I'm just going to take a few more minutes to talk about some of the issues that I've been hearing about, how it can be difficult or challenging to maintain a regular routine when it comes to physical activity. So I'm just going to take some water. Give you guys a moment to share any comments. Okay, so when it comes to being physically active, I know a lot of you want to incorporate a more regular routine into your lives and find it really hard. And often the question that I've been getting is that it's hard to find the time and it's hard to stay motivated. And those two things actually I find really go hand in hand often. So about finding the time, it's really about setting it into your routine and carving out that space wherever you can. And it may be the same time every day, but maybe that's what you need. Maybe it's being flexible, knowing that your schedule changes and you need to fit it in wherever you can every day. For instance, this weekend was really gorgeous where I live. The weather was amazing. I think we had a high of 20 degrees Celsius, and I was just dying to get out on the trails behind my house and just waiting all day on Sunday to get out there. And I had such a full day that I just didn't get there before sunset, and I wasn't going to go on the trail after it became dark, so I had to change my plan. I wanted to go outside on my trail, but I had to change my plan, and I just went around my neighborhood a few times until I got, enough physical activity after, doing actually a lot of work at my desk that day. So that was me kind of changing my plans around what was needed. And then other days I literally can't use my elliptical until the very end of the day, but I know that even though I've had a full day, and I would sometimes much rather just chill out, that if I even spend 20 minutes on it, it will not only help me feel physically, mentally, and emotionally better from my day, from that day, but it'll actually help me feel better for tomorrow's day and a little bit the day after that. And so it has such an impact on my week that I really need to find, I make the time for it wherever I can. And ultimately, the idea is I try to find time every single day to be physically active in some capacity. And I don't mind being super encouraging of myself. I'm not going to knock down anything that I do. So any kind of physical movement every day so that I feel like I'm being regular at being active, my body's getting those benefits, and I'm forming that habit or keeping that habit. And then the motivation actually kind of builds the more you do it. So as you're building a new habit, it becomes easier. It becomes less of a, am I going to do this? Then more and more of a, okay, how am I going to do this today? The same way that you would, work in, like, I need to sleep today. I need to eat today, like I need to have my meals today, and I need to be physically active today. Like my body needs those things. And so it becomes less of a, a maybe and more of like a definitely to some degree. And then once it becomes a habit, I find that people often really start experiencing the benefits to it, the way that it improves their mood, the way that it improves their sleep, which often feels so good. And the way that it really relieves stress, honestly, like it really works at the end of a really rough day. Like you get out there, you go for a walk, you get some fresh air, you feel so much better that you want to experience those benefits again and again. So when it comes to motivation and making it a habit, I find those two things go really hand in hand. Okay, so what intensity do I need for my exercise to be beneficial, cardio, or strength training? So I think that any kind of physical movement is useful. And when it comes to if it's a new habit for any of you, anything is better than nothing. So don't discourage yourself and say, well, like it was only like a short walk, then that doesn't even count. Like just whatever you can do is great. But there are definite benefits to doing some cardio a few times a week. And that's why I usually try to incorporate a combination of both. And so, just keeping that habit, I don't think it has to be any one particular thing, but whatever appeals to you is great. And sometimes just a variety of things can be great too. Like I probably do a variety of 3 or 4 main forms of exercise any given week as my main go-tos. And then it might vary according to the season, otherwise. So I hope that answered that question. But yeah, so I do try to get cardio in at least 2 or 3 times a week because I find that a higher degree of intensity will really serve the kind of stress busting aspect of certain kinds of exercise. But it also depends on maybe your personality type and your lifestyle. So for instance, If you are on the more sedentary side, maybe you're sitting at your desk often, like most of the day, and you're pretty sedentary, yeah, getting like, getting going and getting your heart rate up through some cardio or some higher intensity movement is probably what your body would really respond to well. On the other hand, if you're on the other side of the spectrum and you are just going and your stress levels are so high that your body really needs to learn how to calm down, then I would probably recommend, ramping down in terms of the intensity levels and actually trying things that will calm your body down a little more, like walks and yoga, maybe gentle bike rides too. I'm trying to think of things that you can do at this time of the year. There's also like some really good apps that can take you through different levels of intensity workouts. So you can also look those up because I find the apps are really, really good. Like even just like, the 10-minute workout apps and those kinds of things. Okay, so that takes care of those questions. And I really hope you guys, I hope I answered everything. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if, I hope I answered how often. I think I did. So like, try to do it every day if you can. And then, and also see what works for you. Honestly, like so much of what works for me has been through trial and error and experimenting and seeing like what kinds of movement do I like to do every day? What levels of intensity that I need with what regularity, like just play with it, just try stuff, get out there, be gentle with yourself, encourage yourself, like really just say, go me for doing whatever you can, because it can be hard. And as we're moving into the cooler months, it can be difficult to stay motivated. So just motivate yourself by encouraging yourself and saying whatever I can do is fantastic. And the more I do it, the easier it will get and the better it will feel. So that takes care of movement and exercise. Hopefully you guys will be able to keep up with it this week. I'd really love to see you guys continuing with your meditation this week. That for sure, just 10 minutes a day, will really have such an impact on your week. And even though it's hard, it will get better. And it'll really help build on the next few days that we're going to be doing. And I find deep breathing calms me down. Yes, deep breathing is great, especially at the end of the day, any time of the day. Like even after tonight's Facebook Live, I'm just going to take a few deep breaths right after we wrap up. I'm going to take some deep breaths before I go to bed tonight. I need to take some deep breaths when I wake up in the morning, like really bringing oxygen into your body, is really so great at helping your body to calm down. So this is great. And we're going to definitely talk about that more tomorrow when we talk about sleep. And if you guys have any more questions about meditation or exercise, feel free to share it in the comments, or you can message me directly. I'm totally happy to answer any concerns you guys have, or problem solve with you. And I'll see you tomorrow night when we talk about sleep. And in the meantime, have a great night, guys. Take care.